kalmashapaham shravanamangalam srimadaatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. The last time we are still reading the conversation between the Vidyasagar and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And here the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was describing about the God, Bhagavan, which in the last class on 10th December we were discussing. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, just see how picturesque this universe is, how many things there are, the sun, the moon, the stars, and how many varieties of living beings, big and small, good and bad, strong and weak, etc. So this whole world is the creation of God. Some intellectual being, as the present day science is thinking, not being some intelligent field, from there things are coming. And almost all the philosophy, the religious people, they believe that God has created this. And in Indian philosophy we find a few words are coming again and again, sometimes which is very difficult for the Western mind to understand that. Brahma, Atma, Ishvara, Bhagavan, Avatar, Jiva, Jagat, all these total almost 7 words. So these 7 words, they are explaining the whole thing. First is Brahma and Atma. What is Atma? What is Brahman? Then come Ishvara, then Bhagavana, Avatar. We were discussing about the Bhagavana. And the last day we quoted from the Vishnu Puran where it says, Vaisharyasya samugrasya viryasya yashasya sriyaha jnana vairagyaschaiva shannam bhaga iti smritam. Smriti, it says like this. Smriti Puran, we know. Thus there are 6 qualities. What are the 6? Aisharya, total this power. Virya, is a spatial mental strength, Virya. Yasha, and then the Sri, then Jnana and Vairagya. These 6. Now the Aisharya means reaches. We were discussing that Aisharya, usually the word reach. This whole universe, just now we quoted from Sri Ramakrishna, is a beautiful universe. So many things it has been created, so many different varieties of things are there, and in this universe there are so many, as the human being considering, like the platinums, like the gold, like the other jewelries, so many costly things in the standard of the human being. So everything is there, all tons and tons of all those things. And this is under the control of the God, Ishvara. Once in the Vishnu temple in Dakshineshwar, the burglars, they entered into the temple of the Krishna and took away all the jewelries. Next morning when it was reported, the Jamindar, the landlord, he came and he saw, and then he was complaining to God, what type of God you are? You don't have power to protect your own jewelry. Sri Ramakrishna was there. He turned back to Mathur Babu, the landlord, and said, for you, these are all costly things. For him, it is nothing. because so much is there in the whole universe. The Aishwarya, when we talk about, naturally, the ordinary people, we think about the jewelries and costly things in this world. There are spiritual treasures are also there. Then yogic treasures are also there. The Aishwarjasya Samugrasya. It's not only Aishwarya, all different types of treasure. And first is the worldly. Second, we were discussing the last day, yogic treasures. What is that? Ashtasiddhi, Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitva, Bashitva. These are 8 Siddhis. After a lot of practices, one person may get a little Siddhi. That is sufficient, and then when he gets, he forgets everything. One person was there, he got the power of anima. He could make himself very small and can go from here to there in different places, just whenever he thinks. And how he applied that power, that is very peculiar. The moment you get that power, it's very difficult to control the mind, because the bhoga immediately drags. And he started visiting the rich family, enjoying this thing and that thing in the night, and that way he lost that power also. So anima, he could make that, but another is prakamya. Whatever you want, you get. Swami Vivekananda, when he was in South India, I think in Hyderabad, he came to know about a person who could bring anything he wants, who could say anything like that. So he went, before coming to America, it happened in his life, Vivekananda's life. He went over there to see that particular person. Whatever you say, he could give. Then he was sitting just one blanket and nothing was there. It was a loincloth, bare body, and nearby nothing. So you cannot say that it's just a magic, no tricks. Magicians, all you will see, they wear so many dresses and very glittering dresses. People always look all those things, and in the meantime, he does something. But it's not magic, no dress at all, just sitting in a corner of a room, bare body, only one blanket he was putting on his body. Then people, they were asking different things. Whoever asked whatever, immediately it was from the blanket, under the blanket, he brought it and gave it to him. Then some flowers, which is very rare in the South India, and usually the flowers in the high altitude it grow. I think someone from the company of Swami Vivekananda, he said to that man, can you please bring those flowers? And this type of fruits like the grapes and all, which is not available. And in those days there was no that market everywhere, everything is available. It was not like that. He brought immediately, and he showed that there is nothing under that blanket, and then he immediately gave it to them. So this is possible, prakamya. Another person, he could get this type of different type of information because he was having under his control 2 or 3 the ghosts. When you talk about this is very peculiar, but this is possible. He was having this power, he could control the ghost, and he was. Swami Vivekananda suddenly, when he was traveling, suddenly came to know through different sources that one of his sisters have committed suicide. Then he was wondering, is it? So to get the information in those days, there's no communication. Even if the fastest communication was the and a telegraph, that's also very costly, and then that too would take some time. Then someone told there is a person sitting, he is a tantric, and if you can go to him, he can tell you. Swamiji went to him and said, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I will get information about your sister. He sat in meditation after some time, and then he was asking someone, go, this is the address, get the information and come back immediately. Then he was waiting. After some time, something happened. Immediately he said, yes, this is true that your sister has committed suicide. It became so. But the same person was asking Swami Vivekananda, can you please bless my child? He is sick. Swamiji told, but you have every power. No, that power I am not having. You have that power. There's a special pure power, and then this type of powers are also there. So these yogic treasures, it is also there, and spiritual treasures are also there. The first, worldly treasure; second, yogic treasure; third, spiritual treasure. Whatever you want, you will get. The Aisharyasya Samugrasya. And this is really very wonderful. Before the birth of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, his father, Shudiram Chattopadhyay, the only one very young kid was there. He used to love him so much, but somehow he was possessed by ghost. Shudiram Chattopadhyay, he was a very pure man. One day he asked, who are you? Why you are possessing my child? What you want? Then he said that I am suffering a lot in this world, and I know you are the only person who can help me to get rid of this suffering. My soul is suffering, my spirit is suffering. Then Shudiram Chattopadhyay, he said, what have I to do? You go and worship on my behalf, and I will be free. So Shudiram went, and the Shraddha Shanti ceremony in Gaya, there's almost in middle India. The Hindus usually after they go to pray for the departed relatives. See how true it is. He went, the Shudiram went over there, and he said, how I will know that you are leaving my child? He said, you look at this tree, the huge branch. The moment you will offer the puja and I will get freedom, I am living over here in this tree. I will break the branch, and you will know that I have left. It happened. The moment the Shudiram offered the puja over there, the branch was broken. So these things happen, we cannot explain. But this is, the spirit is there, power is there, it is possible. But not for all, some people only can do it. So here we find that yogic treasure, Anima small, Mahima gigantic, Garima heavy, Laghima light, Prapti obtaining, Prakamya any desire that is being fulfilled, Ishitva lordship, and Vashitva the control. So in this gospel, no details description, but why I am giving this? Because this is very interesting and we should know about it. The Sri Ramakrishna only mentioned Bhagavan, and he is having all the power, and if he is not having the power, who will accept him as Bhagavan? So like that he is telling. But what are the powers? These, Aisharya, then Virya, mental power. This mental strength is tremendous. The moment he thinks that I should do like this, and he does. Sri Krishna is a fond child of Vrindavan. All people used to love him. But one day he decided, I should not be here. I have some other mission, I have to go. And he left. It is not possible for all ordinary people. It's very, very difficult. And he was getting all the respect. He could become the emperor of the whole India, undivided India. And that comes right up to the Middle East. In the olden days it was like that. He said nothing. So this is not an ordinary power, tremendous mental power is necessary. Otherwise this temptation and fear people cannot overcome. So this is called virya. And the moment we usually say virya, we always think about the valor and the courage that the army and the fighters they show. It's not like that. That is of course a strength. But the virya means the mental power. And to realize God, we need this virya. And that's why Swami Vivekananda again and again asking the Indians particularly, become viryavana, have that mental strength. And he was telling, see, look at these Britishers. How many are there? Only a handful. And how many of you? Millions and millions of Indians. And little handful of Britishers, they are controlling you. How? Because they have the self-confidence, virya. They feel that I can do, I must do, and you people cannot. That is the difference only. So viryavan, then yasha, all glory. Then Sri, we know the Sri means Lakshmi. Lakshmi is again the wealth of this world and all that. At the same time, Sri, the word Sri is not only the wealth, the mental attitude also. The Sri. Some people are having very good mental attitude. They may be rich, they may be poor, they may be illiterate, they may be very educated, but very wonderful mental attitude. That is also Sri, aesthetic sense. You know what type of color I should use, what type of picture I should use, and these. Some people don't have the aesthetic sense at all. That is Sri. Swami Vivekananda, after the formation of this, when it was established, the Belur Math, and some young people, they came and joined as a brahmachari, new recruits. He used to go and visit the rooms. Suddenly he will enter into the rooms of a brahmachari, or sometimes 2 or 3 together they are living in the dormitory. He used to visit, and he will be sitting on the bed of the brahmacharis, but never dictated, never said anything. But the brahmacharis understood, any time Swamiji may come, any time God may come. So we have to keep everything neat and clean. That's called also Sri, alert for the beauty. Then sometimes some people, when you're offering a glass of water, you try to drink from the glass. There's a stingy smell. It's not properly cleaned. And they say, what is there? You hold the glass like this and then drink. So don't bother about the smell. No, that is not like that. And some people, they will be dressing themselves, and that's also not proper. Sri, everything comes under Sri. The moment we talk about Sri, we only think about the money. No, wrong. All these things comes in the Sri. Our business community should know it, particularly in India. I don't know about the other countries. But wherever you go, they will be only concentrating in earning money and not developing anything. Nowadays, of course, because of the government is conscious, people are conscious, people are visiting the Europe, so they are doing it to some extent. This three, that's why in English they say cleanliness is next to godliness. So that is also the Sri. Sri Matam Gehe Yoga Brashta Vijayate. Sri Mata, there's a culture, lot of culture. The young kids, they are coming, they are offering pranam or to the senior people, all comes under Sri. Wonderful culture. They will never misbehave. They will never miss the dress, also not very peculiar. The language when they are using, that also very controlled. So that is all Sri. All people know all that this type of filthy languages. The other day, I see the English movies to get myself trained, particularly the pronunciation sometimes. The South American movies, cowboy movies, and sometimes the African Americans movies, to try to understand their pronunciations. And sometimes they will be continuously using the filthy language. It's not necessary, but going on. And in Sanskrit we call putita. Putita means the beginning and the end, there will be something, so it is sandwiched. So some good thing, the omkara, it is putita, means in the beginning and the end, so it is becoming very pure, like that. And they do the all ugly words, putita. They are telling, they will be uttering a very ugly word, filthy word in the beginning, and then they will say something, and then again that. Why? It has become a habit. This is not Sri. So this is also very important for a spiritual life, for a human life. So that Sri should be then Jnana, Paravidya, Aparavidya, external knowledge, the worldly knowledge, and spiritual knowledge. The Jnana, two types. This knowledge and also the other knowledge. Some people, they have come all the way from the other countries. They are here, got education, earning money, established over here, but constantly hating this country. And of course, they don't do anything else. Only they are in their blogs or in some other blogs, that they don't use their own personal blogs. They have made a committee. There they will be putting all this type of things about America. And why? Because the Paravidya, Aparavidya they are having, mostly doctors, engineers, scientists, researchers, but Paravidya they could not develop. That's why I should be grateful to anyone who has helped me. That is absent. That's why Swami Vivekananda, when he came over here, and particularly when he went to Great Britain, he himself has written, has said, there was no one in this world who came and to London with so much of hatred like me. And now I am the one like them because of the qualities. So this is called Paravidya and Aparavidya. Worldly knowledge, but we should have open mind to appreciate people who is having the qualities. Why not? This is the Jnana. Then comes ultimately Vairagya. This Vairagya, dispassion, we will be reading as we are studying the Yoga aphorism, we will be reading the Vairagya, dispassion. Even then, that last class also we discussed about the dispassion. That is the ultimate para vairagya. Para, I told the para means the highest. This type of things are nothing. We have renounced something. Some brahmacharis came and they were boasting. We have renounced this world and all that. Then one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna said, what you had that you have renounced? You are not having anything. A little bit of this and that, what is that? Look at Gautama Buddha. He was a king, a prince, At least the worldly treasure that he was having, that you have renounced. What renouncement? The renounce means, I don't want anything. That is a very peculiar. I will find here in this gospel, in the last sentences, conversation with Vidyasagar and Sri Ramakrishna, what's called renunciation. Even denying himself, but people don't understand that. In Sanskrit we call Binoy, Vidya Dadati Binayam, the modesty. But some people in some places it is so difficult, they don't understand. This is called Vairagya. And in the Indian philosophy, all these words are coming and again they say Ishvara. I will just touch this word, Ish. From the word Ish, the root is Ish. Ish means possess, rule over. One who possesses, one who can rule over is Ishvara. Many people, most of the people, and it has become so easy for them, so always they pronounce my name Ishtananda, so it is easy. But I wonder always, have they not heard the word Ishvara? So Ishvara, from the Ish, Isha, Atma, these are the two words. Isha and Atma and Ananda, three words, that is my name, my Guru gave. Isha means that God, the Lord. And who is this Isha, Ishvara? We find a definition in Patanjali. We will read afterwards in the Samadhi Pada. In 24th aphorism he says, Klesha, Karma, Vipaka, Ashai, Aparamishta, Purusha Vishesha, Ishvara. In our Shastras, whenever they say any word, they always clarify it so that we can understand it properly. Klesha means ignorance. We have already, if you can remember, those who are the student of Yoga aphorism, we have already started the klesha. Klesha means ignorance. Usually the translation of the word klesha means suffering. Here actually the word klesha means ignorance. Why we suffer? Because of the ignorance. We are so much attached to this body and the mind and the things of this world, so we suffer. So that is called klesha, means ignorance. Karma means work. Whenever we are working for something, we always try to get the result of it. And vipaka means the result, good or bad, whatever. And what comes, where from the desire comes ashai. Ashai. Asha is many desire. From all these things, ignorance, then the work, then the result, and then the subtle of the result is desire. All the four things is absent in this master of the world. He is Ishvara. He is doing everything, but he is not attached with anything. This is the beautiful thing, Ishvara. This is the conception. Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he is telling, I don't have anything to do over here, I don't have anything. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. In these three words, sarga, matta, patal. In the nether world, in this world, and in the heaven, I don't have anything to do. Why should we do? Here, I am doing, right from 11 o'clock to again in the afternoon, sometimes the night. I am a sannyasi but working. Why we are working? To spread the message of Vedanta. And for that, I am always inviting people. So many people are writing to me, are you available on such and such day, this. I am making my diary, and then I am thinking that my responsibility over here, going over there, meeting people, and all these things is a work, of course. It's a different type of work, but it's a work. And sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not, sometimes I'm loved and accepted by people, sometimes I'm not. So naturally happiness and the sorrow, everything is coming. It goes like this. Why? Karma. So the Lord is telling, I don't have any such karma at all. But suppose I am a member of the Ramakrishna mission. And this organization was formed by Swami Vivekananda with one thing, Atmana Moksha Jagat Hita. If you don't believe in Jagat Hita, if you only believe in Atmana Moksha, only my own liberation, don't join the Ramakrishna mission. And if you have joined the Ramakrishna mission, if you are taking all the benefits from the Ramakrishna mission, then why should you not follow the work? That both the things you have to follow, or go away, sit somewhere else. You are taking everything from where? From the devotees, each and everything. And then if we are not doing anything for the devotees, either praying for them or trying to do good for them, then are you not simply cheating the people? And then you are telling, no, I am free from all this. I only for the Atmana Moksha. Majority of the Indian monks, they say like this, the Vedanta, but when you are surviving, how you are surviving? Just by drinking water and taking some air, food, clothing, everything you need. Where from it's coming? From the society. In return, what you are giving to the society? Almost nothing. Not even a good thought. So that is also in the name of karma and its phala, some people by mistake, they always misinterpret it and they wrongly interpret it. Not only one, thousands of them. So this is very rare. You will find the Ramakrishna mission. I have kept a flyer that has been published by the Belur Math. Please see that and show it to your friends too. How our monks, they are giving help to the Uttarakhand people. This is a hilly terrain, hilly region. Our monk carrying a huge load of things and sitting in a chair, and that is just on a rope. It is a real ropeway. Just on a rope, they are dragging from the other distance, other side, and he crossing that creek. If he falls, he will die. It is not a simple thing. As a young man, he left his hearth and home, he joined the Ramakrishna mission, and not one, so many of them, they are going over there. And going to the people who are suffering, serving them, not taking proper care even. Here people are so cautious, they will be taking gloves and all that. There is nothing available. So directly going and helping them, doing like this, that. What is it? Karma. What type of karma? Puja. Atmana Moksha Jagat Hita. Through developing or helping other people who are suffering, thinking that they are living gods, same karma helping me to realize myself. That is called klesha, karma, vipaka, ashaya, aparamishta, purusha vishesha. But look at the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He is also doing this type of work. He is going to Vidyasagar. Why? Does he care for Vidyasagar? Nothing, not at all. You see what he will be telling afterwards? He is not caring for the Vidyasagar, but he is visiting Vidyasagar and all these people, because if they are converted into some good ideology, hundreds of people will get the benefit. That is the reason. So here we find that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling about the Atma, Brahma, then he is telling about the Bhagavan, then Ishvara, then we know about the Avatara, the incarnation of God in human form. in different forms it may be, but mostly in human form. I and my Father in heaven are one. What is that? Jesus is telling, I and my Father in heaven are one. I don't know whether all people are understanding this particular sentence of Lord Jesus. This is avatar. And again he says, he who has seen me has seen the Father. Look at it, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, whoever will look at this picture will see the God. Mother also said. And the present day people are so clever. They have taken the photograph of God Himself. Look at the person, just like us. Then if you look at this, it's not like the Shiva sitting bare body on the snow itself. Not like that. Rather, when he used to go out, he used to put on the dress properly and used to go out. But he is God Himself. Why? Because of the qualities. What are the qualities? These qualities, as we were discussing. And sometimes some people, if you believe these words of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when he was on the deathbed, almost suffering so much, most beloved disciple, Narendranath, in a corner of the room he was standing and observing, and what he was thinking, just like the pure scientist, the researcher, he was asking within his mind, in this pain, can he say that he is God? He didn't utter the words, he was only thinking. Immediately the all-powerful God who is residing in the minds of the people immediately said, O my Naren, he who was the Rama, he who was the Krishna is now in this body. So that is the power of God. He was God Himself. Then someone was thinking how this God can go. Now here we find again Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling to Vidyasagar that he has given endowed with more power and some with less power. Sometimes some people will be comparing. Oh, this Swamiji is like this and that Swamiji is like that. I told, why you are comparing? If you like anyone, very good, follow his words. Or otherwise it is of no use wasting your time, because God has given different type of power to different people. Don't compare. All people have the speciality, particularly the Swamis. One speciality you must admit, that they have left the hearth and home, they have left their own people and accepted an ideology. All through their life they are practicing it. Maybe some is very eloquent, very good speaker, some may write nicely, some are good looking, some are bad looking, whatever it may be. One thing is very common, that is they have great love for Sri Ramakrishna. That is true. And if you have the love and respect for the ideology, you will love everyone. Why? Because of the ideology. And if you are loving a person, it's difficult. There's a possibility of suffering. Sometimes the person may change. We do not know what is going to happen. So that is the reason. Sri Ramakrishna, when he said, then the Vidyasagar is telling, has he endowed some with more power and others with less? This is the argument of the communist, so-called communist people. The God is unjust. He has given some people so many things, some people so less. Why we should accept him? So this is a very bad argument. Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. As the all-pervading spirit, he exists in all beings. Bibhu. In the Sanskrit word they say Bibhu. Bibhu means all-pervading and subtle way. He is everywhere, even in the ant. The small ant that is crawling, even in that ant also, that God is present. Can you believe it? But this is the truth. But the manifestation of His power are different in different beings. Otherwise, how can one person put 10 to fight? That is the manifestation of the power, while another cannot face even one. And why do all people respect you? He is asking Vidyasagar himself. Look at this. This proves the power of God. A person who is countering and answering, talking, arguing with Vidyasagar, never attended school. So is it not something special, miraculous? What is the miracle? Look at it. Vidyasagar is so humble. Not just because he was a guest, he came, okay, not like that. Vidyasagar was not that way. Immediately he would have said, no, this is wrong. Here, Vidyasagar, he could not answer to him. Why do all people respect you? Have you grown a pair of horns? Everybody started laughing. You have more compassion and learning. Therefore, people honor you and come to pay you their respect. Don't you agree with me? Look at it. Is he ignorant? Is he illiterate? How the argument he is putting? Vidyasagar smiled, couldn't reply. The master continued, there is nothing in mere scholarship. Next step. He told Vidyasagar that all people are coming because of this quality, and again now he is telling the truth. He is a real master, like a father, compassionate father, a guide, telling you the truth. He is telling, there is nothing in mere scholarship. Vidyasagar read all books, all the scriptures, and that's why the object of study is to find means of knowing God and realizing Him. There are so many people, they have already read so many books, and one person was doubting, Swamiji, you were in the library, do you think you will be able to read all the books? Then I told, why should I read? I will read only one book, that is sufficient for me. And some of the information, that's all. What is that one book? Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel. What it says, be genuine. That's all. Be what you are and pray to God with your tears. God, I cannot understand you. I cannot pray so much. I cannot observe so much austerity. But I like you, love you, and I pray, please help me to realize you. That's all. Why? Because He is my father. He is my mother. Why should I not have all this thing on my mother and father? I have that relation. He is nothing, nobody from outside. Why should I feel shy before my parents? Sometimes the children, they will be going out and they are all keeping well, etc. Suddenly something happened, misfortune. Where do they go? To their parents only. Then again they will go back to the mother, to the father, and the mother, father never say no. The door is closed for you. They will say, come, somehow we will adjust. That is the parents. Always with compassion and love. So one man, his very, very aged mother, and naturally in the old age people become little irritated in little things. So she was rebuking sometimes to the what is called that bahu, that and then she told the husband that you have to throw away the mother because she is already old and there's no use. Why don't you go and put her in the jungle? Then man coming back home after so much of work, he wanted little peace, and Regu learned this thing. It was so disturbing. One day he told her mother, "Mother, this is the problem. I want peace. I cannot leave my wife because this is my family now, and you are almost at the fag end of your life. Can I take you in the jungle and leave you over there?" She said, "Well, son, if you think that that will bring happiness to you, it's no problem for me. Please take. But I cannot walk. What you will do?" Then he said, "I will carry you. But in the daytime, if you carry me, other people will see. Then they will criticize you. That won't be. So in the dead night, you can carry me." She was telling her son. And even then, she was trying to protect the son from the other neighbors, bad words, criticism. And when the son was carrying that old lady, suddenly somewhere there was a stone, he stumbled, and then that lady was asking, "Son, are you hurt? You can take a little rest." So that is the mother. Always compassionate, always compassionate, always compassionate. And here, the God is also the mother of all beings. And that is the reason Ma Sharadamani Devi, she said, "Whoever will call me as mother, I cannot turn him back. I will accept what he or she is." So that is the mother is a very, very pure word. Sometimes some people they use holy mother. I say don't use the holy because mother is holy. You need not to go and sprinkle the Ganges water on Ganges. The Ganges itself is holy. So this is the all-pervading spirit everywhere. And what they do, as the mother was guiding the son, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, only mere scholarship won't help. What is the significance of the Gita? Now he is telling. And everywhere people will be reading Gita. What is the significance? He said only in a half a word. He said, if you continue to read Gita, then it will come Tyagi, Tyagi, Tyagi. Gita, Tyagi. If you try to say, then Tyagi. So this way, if you are pronouncing, then whole thing that comes like that. Chaitanya Deva set out on a pilgrimage to southern India. One day he saw a man reading the Gita. Another man, seated at distance, was listening and weeping. His eyes were swimming in tears. Chaitanya Deva asked him, "Do you understand all this?" Because he could understand that the Sanskrit, it is impossible for that person to understand. So he was wondering. He is crying, sitting over there. And when he is listening the Gita, the Chaitanya Dev naturally, he doubted, is he really understanding Gita or why he is crying? Then Chaitanya Dev asked him, "Do you understand all this?" The man said, "No, O revered sir, I don't understand a word of the text." "Then why you are crying?" asked Chaitanya Dev. The devotee said, "I see Arjuna's chariot before me." He saw the picture on the Gita. "I see Lord Krishna and the Arjuna seated in front of it, talking. I see this and I weep." What the Gita they were reading, he was seeing before eyes, though he is illiterate. And he was thinking how compassionate the God is. He has become the charioteer, driving the chariot of Arjuna. Who is Arjuna comparing with Krishna? But he is sitting over in the seat of the driver, driving for Arjuna. So this is, why does a Vijnani keep an attitude of love towards God? The answer is, I consciousness persists. It disappears in the state of Samadhi, no doubt. We will be reading about the Samadhi in the yoga aphorism in the Sunday classes, we will be reading. Even after attaining the knowledge, this I consciousness come, nobody knows from where. So what to renounce? Sri Ramakrishna said in Bengali, Ami mole guchive janjal. Ami mole. If you can eradicate the I, the ego, you get everything. So all the burden will be, all those things will be removed. You can realize God in whatever form you desire. If only the I, the ego is removed, and it's so difficult, and that's why he is telling. First he said, only reading scriptures won't do. And then he is telling that problem is you have to have love for God. And how the love will come? When your ego goes away. Once Rama asked Hanumana, how do you look on me? Then Hanumana replied, O Rama, as long as I have the feeling of I see that thou art the whole and I am a part. Thou art the master and I am thy servant. But when, O Rama, I have the knowledge of truth, then I realize that thou art I and I am thou. So, Atma Vidya Tamevaham iti me nishchitamati. Tam aham, when I feel that consciousness, and that's why the Jesus said, I and my Father in heaven are one. He is not telling that I am the Son. Many times he said. But here he is telling, I and my Father in heaven are one. It's not two. Not the Father and the Son. No two entity. One only. Advaita. But how people would understand? So they always make, so Jesus is separate, God is separate, you cannot see God, no one can see God. So in between God and the Jesus, there is a Holy Ghost coming up and down. Nowadays, of course, we don't need the Holy Ghost because the antennas are so powerful. So we can directly contact with God. Is it like that? No. We are. So that is called Vedanta. I am joking. But the Holy Ghost means what? Holy Ghost means I, myself. And how it becomes? My purity. And how I become pure? When my ego is absent. So that is the step by step. The relationship of master and servant is proper one. Since this I must remain, let the rascal be the God's servant. The I is not going, so what to do? Then I have to say, I am the servant of God. I am the son of God. Swami Vivekananda in one place is telling, I am the son of God. I the son of God. And that way you have to keep yourself away from all these worldly things. So much of attraction. So we have to always keep the mind in that level. I am the son of God. I am the child of God. How can I behave like this? That consciousness will always be within me and will save me. One should constantly remember death. This is a very peculiar teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. How many people will understand, I do not know. He is telling constantly remember the death. Any time I may die. Why? This is true, but we don't like to remember. We don't like to think about that. I was sitting in, long back, I was sitting in the Royal Nepal Airlines. You know, the Nepal, some small country, poor country, they were not having a good aircraft. From somewhere, second-hand aircraft they purchased and now in the name of Royal Aircraft there. So I told, oh my God, this type of aircraft, it may break anywhere. Then the teacher, he was sitting, I was in the school. So the teacher, he was sitting, he said, hey, why you are talking like this? Unless we reach over there, don't talk about crashing and breaking. I told, if I don't even say it may happen, and if I say it may not happen. But my teacher, who was so senior, he was afraid of this. So this is in the will of God, in the hand of God. We cannot say anything what is going to happen in the next time. So death, I am here, next moment I may not be there. Why should I be involved in this? The moment you are going to a relative's house, you are so good and people are also so happy with you. Why? Because they know that you have a return ticket and you know that I have a return ticket. Why should I be involved in this? And if you don't have the return ticket, if they come to know that you have come for good, you will see the whole behavior will change. This is so practical. When you go as a guest to some other asrama, those people will say, Swamiji, you are so good. I told, because I am a guest. So this is because of that. So when we are thinking about death, what is that? I am a guest in this world. Why should I be involved in this? As best as possible, I will try to help and I will try to live happily and try to make you also happy. That's all right. But I know I don't belong to this. So this way he is going, telling, then Vidyasagar with a smile. He was asking Vidyasagar, what is your attitude? He said, I will tell you someday. Then Sri Ramakrishna is telling, Premonmatta hoya. This is a word. Prema unmatta. Unmatta means forgetting his own self. Why? Because of love for God, never caring where he is. In the presence of Vidyasagar, in his house, and he started singing, Ke jane kali kemon shoro darshane napaye darshan. Who will understand how the goddess Kali is, what the goddess Kali is? Even the 6 systems of philosophy, that is Shamkha Yoga, Nyaya Vaishashika, Mimamsha Vedanta, this 6 system, even they also don't understand. If you read one system of philosophy, you will find it long and so difficult to understand, the intricacies. But all the 6 together, they won't be able to understand who the Kali is. Ke jane Kali kamon. And this, the whole song is there. If you want, you can read. In the English transcription is also there in Swami Nikhilanandaji's book, The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is a wonderful song. And who has written? Another person who was also the worshipper of goddess Kali in a village. And how could he write this? Through realization. He has seen this. We think the goddess Kali means only that? No. It is the primal power of God. What is God? God is all pervading, God is this, God is that, all the power that we are reading. And all that power as a separate name, what is that? Shakti. The Shakti means power, and that Shakti manifests in goddess Kali. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, whom you call as Brahman, I call as Kali. My mother Kali is nothing but the Brahman, but I love to see that Brahman, all pervading, all powerful, in the form of Kali. So he is singing, and last word today we will read, Vishwasar Bhakti Chai. We want Vishwas, the faith, and Bhakti, the devotion. These are the only 2 things. Those who are really sincere to realize God, they realize the Atman, they realize the self. Only 2 things are necessary. Faith, tremendous faith in the words of God. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said this, I believe it. And then bhakti. The moment I believe God, then all my devotion comes to Him. I know God, you are somewhere here. Only my misfortune, I cannot see you. I cannot realize you. I cannot feel you. I cannot talk to you. And every moment, the tears will well up. And any moment I may pass. God, I don't know when I am going to die. So please don't waste time. Please come to me. If that way we pray, we need not to study all the 6 systems of philosophy. We need not to sit for meditation. We need not to do any worship. Only 2 things, Vishwas and Bhakti. Faith in the existence of God, faith in the words of the Avatara, the Guru, and then devotion. And devotion like a child. The child loves the mother, same devotion. And when I am asking for the God, I never care for anything in these worldly things. So that is called the secret of success in spiritual life. And next Tuesday again, we will study this portion. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavattaram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. I think the weekend I will go to Dallas, the Friday and the Saturday, and Saturday night itself I will come back. And then Sunday, coming Sunday, the yoga aphorism, that I don't think it will be possible because we will be observing a Holy Mother's Tithi Puja. As we always do in the Tithi Puja, the special worship will go on, continue for more than 1 hour, and we will be discussing about Holy Mother, reciting and chanting. I will be singing 1 line and you can sing back. Like this we will continue, and then the prasad will be there after Pushpanjali. And the next Tuesday again, there will be 24th December, and we will observe the Christmas, because in the Ramakrishna mission it has a very significance, the Christmas. It is not only the Christians that they observe, being Hindus also we, with great devotion we observe, because we have great relation, particularly the Ramakrishna mission, that we will discuss. We will have very young people to come over here and sing, and the music will be there, and reading from the Bible and all. Please come and bring your friends and relatives that day, and that day also will have the prasad. That will be a different special type of prasad. The usual prasad that we take, it won't be like that, it will be a different type of prasad. Maybe we have to find out, research what Jesus ate in that time. Okay, thank you.